children, welcome back after a vacation. Now let's begin with the new chapter, that is reproductive health. So reproduction is one of the fundamental property of a living being and is essential for multiplication and perpetuation of a species. So normal reproduction is related with the normal reproductive health. The reproductive health, in this chapter we are going to cover two topics: reproductive health, problems and strategies, population explosion and birth control. So let's begin with the reproductive health. So first, what is reproductive health? According to WHO, reproductive health means a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, like physical, emotional, behavioral and social. Thus, the persons having physically and functionally normal reproductive organs and normal emotional and behavioral interactions among them in all sex-related aspects may be called reproductive healthy. So, India initiated reproductive health program, that is family planning, in 1951. So, India was the first country, that is, as you know, that India is a populous country. So, India was the first country and that started this program, that is family planning, to initiate action plans and programs at a national level to attain total reproductive health as a social goal. And under that social goal, there is one program that is called the family planning. Now, reproductive and child health care, in short, it is called RCH. Now, what is the aim of this RCH? To make aware people about reproduction related problems or aspects, to create a reproductively healthy society. These are the two aims of RCH. So, first is awareness about the reproduction, and second is to create a reproductive healthy society. Now, reproductive health problems and strategies. So, family planning measures were initiated in 1951 in India, and the goal was to attain total reproductive health. These measures were periodically evaluated. So, RCH programs are being operated with the aim of creating awareness among people about various reproduction related aspects and providing facilities and support for building a reproductively healthy society. Building a reproductively healthy society. Now, steps to achieve reproductive health. Now, what are the ways by which we can achieve this reproductive healthy society? The first one is the introduction of sex education in schools and colleges, and it must be encouraged as to provide right information to the youth. Such education will discourage children from believing in myths and having misconception about the sex related aspects. So first is the introduction of sex education. Second is the create awareness about sexually transmitted disease. So you are well aware how the sexually transmitted diseases are spread due to ignorance. Third is the educating people, especially fertile couples and marriageable individuals, about birth control options, pre and postnatal care, then infant and child care, importance of breastfeeding, equal opportunities for males and females, will help in bringing up socially conscious reproductive or healthy families of desired size. So that is one of the measures, and that covers a number of things that must be at least educated to the fertile couples and marriageable individuals. Next is the create awareness about the problems of population explosion, especially sex abuse and sex related crimes. Awareness of problems due to uncontrolled population growth, social events like sex abuse and sex related crimes, etc., need to be controlled to enable the people to think and take up necessary steps to prevent them, and thereby building a socially responsible and healthy society. Next is the complete ban on fetal sex determination to check the female feticide. To control the female feticide, as you know that nowadays because of that particular thinking that they want only the male child. That is why some people go for the knowing the sex of the unborn child, and as a result, if they find it is a girl child, they kill it before the girl child is being born. So there should be complete ban on the sex determination of to check the female furicide. And the last one is the large scale child immunization program. So this is also required because number of diseases are spreading, so there should be large scale child immunization program, like you have heard about the pulse polio and other programs like that. Now for decreased maternal and infant mortality rate, there should be to decrease the maternal and infant mortality rates, there should be better awareness of sex related matters, increase in medically assisted deliveries, better postnatal care leads, improve reproductive health of the society is indicated by smaller families, better decision, better detection and cure for STDs, and overall increased medical facilities. Now, aims and needs of sex education in school. Just now I said that it to provide right information about the sex-related aspects, to avoid sex-related myths and misconception, proper information about the reproductive organs, adolescence and related changes, safe and hygienic sexual practices, sexually transmitted diseases, etc. So, to have the right information about the sex related aspects, and also to remove the sex related myths and misconceptions, and to have the proper information about the reproductive organs. All these are the aims and needs of the sex education in schools and colleges. So now it is important to have the youth a proper guidance and proper knowledge related to the sex. Next, population explosion and birth control. Now, population, as you know that what is population? It is defined as a total number of individuals of a species present in a particular area at a given time. And a species has many populations living in different regions. The scientific study of human population is called the demography, and that is this demography that measure that the rapid growth of population of a particular species, especially the human in the world since the end of the World War II. This can be attributed to a constantly increasing birth rate, a decrease in child and infant mortality rate, and increase in the life expectancy. So this will lead to increased stress on all resources. As you know that the population is increasing, with that the resources with that rate resources are not increasing. Now, what are the causes of increase in the population? So, first is the rapidly declining death rate as there occurs a number of changes. So medical facilities are getting better. So, as a result, the death rate is declining. Rapidly declining maternal mortality rate, that is MMR, rapidly declining infant mortality rate, that is IMR, increased life expectancy, and increase in the number of people in the reproducible age. So India first census was carried out in 1891, and since then it has been conducted regularly at interval of 10 years. So in the last century there has been significant improvement in the quality of life of the people due to overall development in the various fields. Now in 1900 the world population was around 2 billion. By 2000 it rocketed to about 6 billion. So in only 10 years, so you can well imagine, from 2 billion it came to 6 billion. Then in India, the population was nearly 350 million during the independence, and it crossed 1 billion in May 2000. It means every sixth person in the world is an Indian. So how this is how the population is increasing. So it has reached close to billion mark by 2000. It means that every sixth person in the world is an Indian. The rapid increase in human population over a relatively short period is called the population explosion. Now, according to 2001 census, the population growth rate was still around 1.7%, that is 17 out per thousand per year, a rate at which our population could double in 33 years. In 2011, the total population was 1.21 billion, decadal growth rate was 17.4%, density 382, sex ratio 940, child sex ratio 914, and literacy rate that is 74.04. So overall increase in every aspects of population. Now, what is the reason behind the population explosion? Everybody is knowing. Still, the reason increased health facilities and better living condition, as there is a increase medical facilities, so population is increasing and people are having a better living condition. A rapid decline in the death rate, MMR, that is maternal mortality rate, and IMR, that is infant mortality rate. Next is the increase in the number of people in the reproducible age. There may be another points, control of certain diseases like the plague or the smallpox, etc. Even protection from the natural calamities, even the better availability of food due to advancement in agriculture, improvement of storage and transport facilities, even better public health care and greater medical attention. So all these reasons contribute to the increase in population or causing a reason for the population explosion. Though our RCH program could bring down the population growth rate but was only marginal. So you can well imagine how it is important to control the population. Otherwise, if it is not being controlled, then it may increase, and the population increase means there will be decline in the resources. So what are the problems that may arise due to the population increase? That is the basic requirement of food, shelter and clothing will not be there for the individual. So that is the reason for the, or that is the impact of population explosion. Now control, how we should control the increase in population. The first one, motivate smaller families by using contraceptive methods. So first we'll have to motivate the people for using the contraceptive methods to stop the unwanted pregnancies and to stop the unwanted child. So naturally we have to motivate the family, and that is why the government started one slogan, that is hum do hamare do. Aware people about the slogan, that is hum do hamare do, is one of the example of this campaign. Many couples, mostly the young urban working ones, have been adopted one child norm. Even people are using the one child norm. Next is the raising of marriageable age. So, statutory raising of marriageable age is one of the effective means to control the population. Presently, the marriageable age for female is 18 years and that for the male is 21 years. Even certain incentives can be given to the couples with small families to tackle the problem of overpopulation. So these incentives may be in the form of promotion or in the service of couple adopting one child norm for free education of the child. Family planning. The couples of reproductive age are motivated to plan their families by adopting birth control measures. So these are the way population explosion can be controlled. Now come to the next, that is the contraceptives. Birth control is the prevention of birth of a child using some kind of contraceptive measure. Now under that comes under the ideal contraceptive. What can be the ideal contraceptive and what are the features of ideal contraceptives? Ideal contraceptive should be user friendly. It should be easily available and reversible. It should have no or less side effects. Next, it should not interfere with the sexual drive, desire, and or the sexual act of the user. So the commonly used contraceptive methods which will help to prevent unwanted pregnancies that we will learn later. So these are the characteristic of ideal contraceptive. So ideal contraceptive should have all the features as it is mentioned here. Next, contraceptive methods. There are six contraceptive methods. First is a natural or traditional method. Second is the barrier method. Third is the intrauterine devices. Fourth is the oral contraceptives. Fifth is the injectable and implants. And the last one is the surgical method. Some of the contraceptive methods you have learned in class 10. So you are having the idea about some of the methods. But we'll discuss all these methods one by one. So let's first natural and traditional methods. So natural and traditional, these methods work on the principle of avoiding chances of meeting ovum and sperms. So they are the first, under that first comes the periodic abstinence. This avoid coitus from the day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle, because this period is called the fertile period, and that prevents the chances of pregnancy or chances of fertilization are very high during this period. Therefore, conception could be prevented by abstaining from coitus during the fertile period. So, if it is not done during that period, that is from 10 to 17, then it won't turn into the pregnancy or turn into the fertilization. The second one is the withdrawal or coitus interrupts. Withdraw penis from the vagina just before ejaculation to avoid insemination. So this is the next another one. This method needs good understanding between the wife and husband. The male partner withdraws his penis from the vagina just before ejaculation so as to avoid insemination. The third one is a lactational amenorrhea. It is a prevention of conception by breastfeeding of the child. This method is based on the fact that menstrual cycle and therefore ovulation do not occur during intense lactation after parturition. So it has generally it is being noticed that the menstrual cycle and the ovulation do not occur during the intense lactation after parturition. Therefore, as long as mother breastfeeds the child fully, chances of conception are almost nil. However, this method is effective only up to maximum period of 6 months following parturition or following after the birth of the child. So chances of failure of this method are also high. Next is the barrier method. So you are well aware of the barrier method. In this, ovum and sperm are prevented from physically meeting with the help of barriers. Barrier may be in the form of condoms, which is made up of a thin rubber latex sheet that are used to cover the penis in the male or vagina and cervix in the female just before coitus so that the ejaculated semen would not enter into the female reproductive tract. Nirod is a popular brand of condom for the male. Condoms are very popular because it protects the user from STD and AIDS. It is also disposable. It can be self-inserted and thereby give privacy to the user. So that is the advantage of using the barrier method. And particularly this condom which is used by the male. This is the way, this is a diagram showing the condom for the male as well as for the female. Now diaphragm, cervical caps and valves made up of rubber, those are inserted into the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during the coitus. The they block the entry of sperms through the cervix and they are reusable. So they are reusable, where in case of the male it was disposable. Whereas there may be another thing that can be used, that is the spermidal creams, jellies and foams generally used along with these barriers to increase their contraceptive efficiency. So these increases their contraceptive efficiency, and these they block the entry of sperms from the through the cervix, and thus they prevent the conception. Next is the third one is the intrauterine devices, that is also called IUDs. These are inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through the vagina, and these includes non-medicated IUDs like the LIPS or loop. And another one is a copper releasing IUDs, that is CUT, CU7 and multi-load 375. Third is the hormone releasing IUDs, that is the progestasert and LNG20. IUD increase the phagocytosis of the sperms within the uterus, and copper ions release suppress sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperms. So their main aim is to not allow the sperm to come in contact with the ovum, and as a result they prevent the conception. Now how they work? The hormone releasing IUDs make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and cervix hostile to the sperms. IUDs are ideal contraceptives for the females who want to delay pregnancy and to have the space between the two children. Now next is the oral contraceptives. Oral administration of progesterone or progesterone or estrogen combination in the form of tablets or pills. Pills are taken daily for 21 days, starting within the first 5 days of menstrual cycle. After a gap of 7 days during which the menstruation occurs, it has to be repeated in the same pattern till the female desires to prevent the conception. So this is the oral contraceptive, and that is mostly in the form of Mala D and Mala N. These contraceptive pills have to be taken daily for a period of 21 days, starting preferably within the first days of menstrual cycle. These hormonal pills prevent the ovulation and implantation by inhibiting the secretion of FSH and LH. So they inhibit ovulation and implantation as well as alter the quality of cervical mucus to prevent entry of sperms. Pills are very effective with the lesser side effects. So common pills that is now used, but pills are now a new oral contraceptive from the female for the female named Saheli. That is it contains a non-steroidal preparation. It is a once a week pill with very few side effects and high contraceptive values. So nowadays this is very commonly used by the female because it is only taken once in a week, and it has got very few side effects because it contains a non-steroidal preparation. Now next is the contraceptive methods. Next is the injectables. Now progestogens alone or in the combination of estrogen are used by females as injections or implants under the skin. Their method of action is similar to that of the pills, and their effective periods are much longer. Administration of progesterones or progestogen or estrogen combination or IUDs within the 74 hours of coitus is very effective as emergency contraceptives, as they avoid possible pregnancy due to rape or casual unprotected intercourse. So you remember that this mainly helps in case of the rape victim, or in case of the unprotected intercourse or casual unprotected intercourse. This basically they can be used to avoid pregnancy, especially in these two conditions. And they generally are very effective as emergency contraceptives because they avoid possible pregnancy. The last one is a surgical methods. You are knowing about that. That is also called the sterilization. And this the aim of this method is to block the gamete transport and thereby prevent conception. It is very effective, but reversibility is poor. So it cannot be reversed. That is the main disadvantage of this method. It cannot be reversed. One is the vasectomy. It is done in the males. A small part of the vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision or the on the scrotum. In case of the female, it is called tubectomy. A small part of the fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small incision in abdomen or through vagina. So you can see in the diagram here, that is in case of the female. Now come to the last, that is the side effect of contraceptive methods. Obviously, there may be some side effects of contraceptive methods like the nausea, like the abdominal pain. Sometimes it may be breakthrough bleeding or irregular menstrual bleeding or breast cancer. But although the widespread of various contraceptive methods have significant role in checking uncontrolled growth of population, but these side effects cannot be overruled. So there are some side effects. These include all nausea, abdominal pain, breakthrough bleeding, or irregular menstrual bleeding or breast cancer. But still, that is very important to prevent the pregnancy or contraception. So contraceptives are anti-natural, so have the side effects such as all these things. That is all about this class. You go through the slides, and if anything you have not understood, you can inquire me and go through the questions given at the end of this class and try to solve the question. That's all for today. Thank you.